Okay, in this video, we're going to look at how to move through the different forms of parabola. A recap, we have vertex form, which is a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. We have standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. We have factored form, which is x plus or minus a times x plus or minus b. Vertex form is easy to find if you're given a graph or the vertex. We're going to simply replace x and k. So looking at this graph, right here is my vertex, and the ordered pair is 2, 1. The form for vertex is x minus h squared plus k. Okay? I'm simply going to replace h and k. I have x minus 2 squared plus 1. And then I also notice that I'm not worried about the a right now. We're not going to calculate on this particular one, but I notice that my graph opens down, so that's negative. So it is negative in front of the equation. Okay, you can quickly go from vertex or factored form to standard by just doing the math, order of operations. Let's look at two examples. The first example I have is my equation in vertex form. So x minus 4 squared, I'm going to copy the parenthesis twice. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to double distribute. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times negative 4 is plus 16. All right, combining like terms, x squared minus 8x plus 16. Bringing the 6 from the beginning of the problem down. It goes with 6 because it does not have an x or an x squared, so it matches with 16 the best. I have x squared minus 8x plus 22. Looking at the next problem, this is an equation in factored form. I'm going to go to standard form. Same thing, double distribute, x times x, x squared, x times negative 2, negative 2x, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Combining like terms, I have x squared plus x, and you can write or leave off the 1, minus 6. Factored form from a graph, just locate the x-intercept. Okay, so when I look at this graph, here's my x-intercept, here's another one. Remember though, so this would be x equals 1. Okay, so to write it as an expression, I want both pieces together, so I would subtract the 1. So x minus 1. Or just remember that for our x, we do the opposite when we're writing the factors. And we get x minus 3. So that's great. Now I need to make sure that there's not a dilation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two x numbers, negative 1 and negative 3, and multiply them together. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. Positive 3 is here. My y-intercept is negative 3. So what do I need to do to positive 3 to turn it to a negative 3? I need to multiply by negative 1. So there's a negative out front. The other way I know this is because instead of a smile, it's a frown. If my y-intercept had been negative 6, I would have multiplied by a negative 2 to make the equation work. Factored form from standard, we work backwards using the x method. Okay, so a is 3, c is 4, a times c is 12, and my b is 7. Two numbers that multiply together give me 12 and add up to 7 are 4 and 3. Which one goes better with 3x squared? The 3. So I'm going to start with that. Keep the 3x squared. Keep the 4. Replace 7x with 4x and 3x. So I'm going to write the 3x first, though, because it goes better here, plus 4x. And now I'm going to groupity group. What did 3x squared and 3x have in common? 3x, what they have in common I write outside. I go ahead and divide each by the common, the GCF. And 3x squared divided by 3x leaves me with an x. 3x divided by 3x is 1. What do 4x and 4 have in common? They have a 4. And when I'm done dividing, I'm left with x plus 1. I do my happy dance because my parentheses match. My matching parentheses are x plus 1. My outsiders are 3x plus 4. Making the factored form x plus 1 times 3x plus 4. I went from standard to factored. Okay, to go from standard to vertex form, we're going to CTS. We're going to complete the square. X squared plus 4x plus 12. I don't like 12 because 12 is not perfect. So let's replace it with a perfect square. My b value is 4, so I'm going to go ahead and divide that by 2, meaning that my equation is going to be an x plus 2 squared. 2 squared is 4. How do I get from 12 to 4? Let's subtract. 12 minus 4 is positive 8. So I went from standard to vertex by taking half of the b, squaring it, taking the current c, subtracting the c that I would like, and I get plus 8. Let's try another one of those. X squared plus 12x plus 28. I don't like 28 because it's not perfect. Let's make a perfect square. Half of 12 is 6. X plus 6 squared. 6 squared is 36. 28 minus 36 is a negative 8, and I am done. Standard to vertex. Okay, now I've given you factored, and I would like standard. Whenever I want standard, think standard, simplify. So I'm going to go ahead and do the math. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Combining like terms, I get 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. We're going to continue working with this skill.